Welcome to Hop's Metal Show Live. I'm Wes. We've got String, we've got Hop, and we've got Chris Jacob from Last Two and Dark Cloud Production. Now, we get to chat with Chris Jacob this evening about an upcoming event that he's hosting at Backseat Events Center in Winchester, Virginia. Fantastic venue. Super excited about that. It's called the Freaks Unleashed Metal Fest. It's on June 21st. It's a Saturday. It takes up the best part of the day, but he's got a tremendous lineup. Hop and I got to chat with a fellow named OJ, Chris Ojeda, out of Charleston, West Virginia, the lead singer for Byzantine, and it was fantastic. Today we get to run through some things with Chris Jacob about the event and about his band. So Hop, String, why don't you guys jump in?
You start off, String.
Well said.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the show. We're going to start off. Give us a little bit of information about your band and how it started, and how long you've been playing and all that, this and that.
Well, you want the long version or the short version? Because it started many moons ago, back when I was a kid. It's interesting. I played in bands growing up, and then life kicks in. Ended up getting married and had some kids, and the things kind of go on a back burner, and kind of took off for a long while. And back in 2017, I was working out of state, driving home like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm singing along to my tunes, and I was like, I still got this. I can still sing, and I started to get that itch that I wanted to get back into this whole scene again, and I missed it. And so, I started taking some action, and in 2019, I started putting together some gear, and I bought the drum set, and I was starting to do stuff, and then 2020 hit, and of course, we got hit with the COVID situation, and that just put the kibosh on the whole thing. And 3 years went by until we started to get out of it. But my drive to start something up was getting bigger and bigger. And so, nothing happens until you take action. So I started pursuing musicians and started writing. I did a lot of writing during COVID here in my own little studio. Started practicing again, and trying to get back to some chops and writing some cool riffs, and singing and writing lyrics, and it started to develop. And my first mission was to find a drummer, because nothing happens without a drummer. So I was fortunate. I got a great guy, great musicians, great bunch of guys in the band. I couldn't be more blessed. But I found our drummer. I had put an ad out in the Maryland Musicians Facebook page, and a post of our drum set, our drum kit, and it's a beautiful kit. And I said, I'm looking for a monster to play this kit, and we were overwhelmed with responses. And it's funny because our drummer Cade, he has a YouTube channel called Cade Monster 101, and he's very young, and one of his friends, or his mom's friend, saw the ad and sent it to his mom and said, hey, did you see this? And so she responded to me, and we talked on the phone, and it was just funny because I posted, I'm looking for a monster drummer, and here's this young fellow, Cade Monster, so it was kind of like the universe lined up for us, and it was really interesting, and I felt like, I think God is speaking to me here, but he's a fantastic drummer. He's been playing for years over at the Let It Be Rock School of Rock in Frederick. And I went out there to support one of the shows they were doing there with his band, friends of his from the school. And one of the other bands from the school also was playing. And that's how we got our guitar player, CJ. And it was the funniest thing for me because I was dead center stage, and it was there at the Old Mother's Brewery in Frederick, Maryland. And lo and behold, I see this young band tackle Tornado of Souls from Megadeth. And and I see this young guitar player. He was 19 at the time. This was like October, November, 2023. And I couldn't believe that this young lad was actually trying to tackle a solo that everybody in the world is trying to reproduce. And there's thousands of videos on YouTube of people trying to reproduce that solo. And so it just blew me away that, and I told him I went to talk to him after he was done with his set, and I introduced myself to him, and I said, "Hey, I'm just, I'm kind of blown away by the audacity and your gumption that you can actually go after a solo like that." You know what I mean? So it was kind of funny, and but I felt like he reminded me of a guitar player, Willie Monzon, that I played with many years ago. And he was one of these guys on stage, just a real rock and roll guy, and full of like himself, and just all energy and confident. And he reminded me of that, and I thought, it wasn't perfect, but he did a great job. And I said, anybody who's got balls that big, I want to be playing with. So that's how I found the drummer and the guitarist. And the our bass player Q, um, he responded to an ad for bass player, and he's sent me videos and stuff that he's done before, and he's played from Atlanta to Vegas, and he's open for some really big bands. And so I saw some live video footage of him, and he had great stage presence. And we just kind of got together, and I had some material already written. And so we started learning that together and playing it together, and kind of, producing it, and kind of, getting it together. And the songs just really took off on their own. Material was good, but what was really amazing was the chemistry in the band. Was just, sometimes you just capture that lightning in a bottle. And it just blew me away when we actually started playing songs, like whole songs at a time. It was really amazing to me, and I thought, this is going to be a really kick-ass band. And sure enough, I wasn't wrong, in my opinion. I love what we're doing. But they really, there's no BS, there's no drama in the band, there's none of that stuff. We get together, we rehearse. We're all working. Our drummer's in school, but he's pretty much working 7 days a week playing drums. But it just, we got lucky, and we've got really great chemistry. And we recorded the first 4 songs. We're in the middle of doing our first album. We want to do 5 albums, and they're all labeled part 1, part 2, and so on. And part 1 is Black Hole. And so we're in the process of that album right now. And we recorded the first 4 songs. We just released 3 videos in the last month and a half or so, and we've got a 4th one getting ready to release here in a couple of weeks. And it's just we're I feel like we're really onto something here, and we're in a process right now. We've been in the process of working on the next 4 songs to complete the album. We actually wanted to finish the album before the show, but life gets in the way. And as of right now, we kind of put the kibosh on it. We did start recording. We got the drum tracks done a few weeks ago, but there's too much going on right now with the show and our debut show and Dark Cloud and the whole thing, and work and life. And but it's we're trying to get this first album out and get it done. I love the newer stuff we're doing now. On top of that, the first 4 songs I thought were incredible. We set the bar for ourselves pretty high with these songs. So we're very excited, and we're very happy with the next 4. They turn a little darker and a little heavier. So yeah, I mean, that's it. Just kind of happened. I'm pushing really hard because I'm not getting any younger, and I'm not 20 years old. And we lost 3 years. I lost 3 years with COVID. So but I firmly believe the universe lines up a certain way, and God has his plan. And apparently he loves me, because honestly, in 2019, some of these guys were probably too young. But I think we all found each other at the right time. And it's an amazing band. I couldn't be more happier about it. And I love what we're doing. I love the chemistry between all of us. And it's a pretty cool thing. I'm really, really enjoying doing this.
You
So
was
that's
talking.
kind of last two.
Go ahead, Wes.
No, you're good.
Oh, you was talking about Frederick, Maryland, that school. It wouldn't happen to be the same school that Steve Whitman done vocal lessons in, was it?
No,
Oh,
I'm thinking he's over at the Maryland Institute of Music in Hagerstown. It's a different school. The one here in Frederick is called Let It Be Rock School of Rock, and yeah, it's two totally different entities.
all right.
But that school is also, I want to say, I'm going to plug them right here now. They're an incredible institution. I want to tell you, we did our first Freaks Unleashed show in 2023 at the Breakaway Warehouse in Hagerstown, and we invited them out, and they brought out two young bands from their school and to open the show for us. And I want to tell you, they were fantastic. And everybody loved them. They were doing covers from literally Pink Floyd to Fleetwood Mac to you name it. And they were real Cinderella. Some great tunes. And they were just fantastic. So it's a really great organization. And it doesn't surprise me with the people that are involved over there.
Yeah, I think even Lizzie Hill, I think she took some vocal lessons out there.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize she was from the region.
Well, she's from Philadelphia, but somehow
okay.
he ended up giving her some lessons.
Gotcha.
When she come in there, he knew, he said sometimes you can just tell that's what they got.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. But they're a really good institution. I think any of these schools are just fantastic. Back when I was a kid, you went to a music store and took some lessons. But these are actually like, they form bands and they want their students. Every student there plays in like 3, 4, 5 of the bands there. So they get different diversified, one band might be a 80s cover band, one might be a 90s cover band, one might be a blues band or a jazz band. So they really are very well-rounded musicians. I'm very impressed with the young generation today. These kids are on drums, on guitars, on bass, on the instruments. I mean, they're just doing phenomenal stuff that, 30 years ago was, I don't know. They're just taking it to a different level. It's definitely evolved, and they're doing some pretty crazy things. And, I love that about last two is that I've got some young guys in the band that are helping keeping it, modern and up to date and given that modern day sound and their influence, is starting to, their influence is starting to have its signature on the band, which is a really great thing. So yeah, great schools.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead,
Chris. I'm seeing a comment that came through on the YouTube channel that's I can't pronounce the name.
That's our bass player being a smartass. That explains his name. That's why I call him Q. And now you understand. That's our bass player just being a smartass. Thanks, Q. Appreciate you watching, buddy.
Hey, I like and I condone. I don't know you, dude, but we'll get to know one another at some point. I like music snobbery just a little bit. Nicely played.
Yeah. Yeah. Harassing me. That's all he's doing.
Hey, we all need that in our life. I'm usually that guy. He's after my heart.
Yep.
All right, String, you want to shoot a question?
All right, I'll try while I can still hear because my audio and stuff's getting all haywire. So with your band, and you said you had released 3 songs, and you got 4 more on top of that, or is that the 4 that you had including?
We've got 4 recorded, already finished, done, mastered. We've shot 4 videos so far. We've shot a video for every one of these songs. We've released 3 of the videos now. Our music is available on YouTube, Last Two Band. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're on all the platforms out there. And we've got the 4th video, which we have not yet released. We're releasing that about first week of June. Here in about another week or 2, I guess. I guess next week we're going to put the teaser out. So we have these 4 done, and we're now already started recording the next 4 to complete the 8-song album, part 1, Black Hole. And one of the songs
So,
the second song that we did release is Black Hole, is the self-titled track to that album. Fantastic song. You guys, everybody should hear it and love it. It's very dark. It's very beautiful.
Melvin knows that when you get everything else recorded, are you going to just dump it out as a complete album then, and no more singles? Is that how you're going to work that?
Yeah, I mean, so the ideal plan was we wanted to turn this debut for us to be a CD release party as well. But life got in the way. We couldn't complete the album just yet. We're working on it, but we wanted to get our name out. We wanted to get our music out before the show. So we kind of just been slamming the whole area with our videos in the last month and a half or so. 3 videos, a 4th one coming. And so, yeah, we definitely wanted to get some music out there. We're probably going to shoot another 1, possibly 2 videos of the next 4 songs. And we're going to release that prior to a CD release party or an album party. I guess now I think CD release party is no longer a thing, right? But it'll be an album release, and yeah, we definitely want to get as much of that music out there, and yeah, we want to have an album release party, and I'm in the planning stages of that now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you
Awesome.
spoke that stuff changed so much. Like the release of music, it's just really, you have to stay on. I was listening to Chris Jericho talk early, and he's like, you have to stay on top in the music business. You step away for a couple of years, you're behind.
Absolutely. And I do a lot of reading, and I'm searching, and because things change so much, and they say don't just record your album and release it. They say put out the singles, and so everybody I know in the business, other bands, they're all like, just release singles, and when you get towards the end, just then you do an album release. So that's kind of the format we're following. What do I know? I'm just a singer.
But I think you are right, because me and String and West, we grew up listening to like Faster Pussycat and Tell.
Oh yeah,
and they're still active making music, and that's what Tammy Down said he plans on doing. He's released his 3rd single just the other day, and he's talking about once his singles are done, then making the album.
Yeah,
and Tesla's doing the same thing.
Yeah, they're keeping up with the times, I guess.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, Chris, let me jump in. I want to ask, because our main conversation started. I'm loving hearing about the band. That's the part that fascinates me most about having these conversations. How do you structure it? What's the business side of it? In this particular case, though, I need to poke at you pretty hard about June 21st and what you're putting together. I need you to talk about that, because that's the kicker, man. I want to make sure that you've got a good crowd, and you get a lot of folks to hear what you're all about.
Sure, absolutely. And Wes, I want to thank you, because I watched the interview with OJ from Byzantine with you guys, and by the way, I didn't know that this was going to be live with him or with me. I thought it was something gets recorded, you guys do your thing, and then it gets posted. But I did watch the interview twice, and I got a real kick out of you, Wes, because conversation was going in all these directions, and you kind of reined it all back in, like, let's get back to this festival and Dark Cloud Productions. I'm like, you go, Wes, you go, man.
That's why we keep him around. That's why he's here. He's the
I'm not good at much,
here.
But the couple things that I've learned to do, I've had to get really good at, or nobody
right.
likes.
So I do appreciate that about you, Wes. But let me say, so Dark Cloud Productions, it's there's not a band out there, young bands, kids, older, whatever, middle-aged, even older guys still playing in bands. You go to see a show at a big venue, a concert, an arena, or a club like the Fillmore in Silver Spring or the Anthem in DC. I promise you right now, there's not a musician listening to this, or that will ever listen to this, or any musician you will ever ask, that isn't there watching that show going, I wish I was there. I wish I was on that stage. And so, in my earlier years and younger days, we played every dive in the world, every in the world, in front of 5-10 people. And You know, a lot of the up and coming bands, aspiring artists, you know, they don't have booking management companies. They don't have the experience to, you know, get themselves booked wherever. And they kind of just go wherever they can get invited to. And, you know, the whole thing for Dark Cloud was, you know, number one, I don't, I'm older in my life. I'm not gonna bullshit everybody, but you know, I don't have time to chase gigs like that and travel, and I have responsibilities. So we want to do big shows, and we want to give a platform to all bands. You know, the smaller guys. You know that. You know, it's an amazing thing. People say, "Oh, instrument doesn't make the musician." That's true, but I've never seen a musician play worse with a better guitar or a better drum kit or a better sounding system, a better sounding PA. It just seems to bring out more talent and more vibe. And so, you know, a lot of bands, you know, small bands, you know, local bands, they don't really get the opportunity to play on a big stage, big lights, big sound, professional sound engineers. They play little gigs and you know, and some of these bands are really amazing. Like you're just blown away when you hear them. And so, you know, we want to support local music. We want to support the local artists. We want to do big shows and invite these local bands to come out and play and have a place on that big stage, on that big lights, big sound. We want their friends to come out and support them and see them in that atmosphere, you know. So I stand true to that, and you know, it's an incredible thing. When I started Dark Cloud Productions back in 2023 to start doing this, I'll be honest, I got my ass handed to me on that first show, but it was a really great experience. The bands were great. I wasn't up to snuff on my end with promotion and promoting and everything else. I've learned a lot from that show, but my point is when I started Dark Cloud and I started out looking for bands, and especially with this show, you know, you start digging and looking for all local and regional because that's what we want. We're not interested in bringing Metallica to town. You know, that I exaggerate a little, embellish a little, but my point is, I'm absolutely just blown away by the level of talent that's right here in our backyard. It's
Oh,
an
yeah.
amazing thing. I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, there's bands like we desperately were trying to get Eternal Frequency out of Pennsylvania for the show, but they had other commitments, other engagements. Bands like the bands on our show, and I'm putting a plug in right here, Rise Among Rivals. I went to see them play a month ago to meet the guys, and they were already booked for the show. And I was just blown away. I love their music. I mean, they're like right in between, like Live and Chris Daughtry, somewhere in between there. And I love both of those bands, both of those artists. And so for me, I just think the world of them. I wanted to go catch them live, and there was a really great lineup in Baltimore. They're out of Baltimore, and I was blown away by them live. And they're a very established band. They do play big gigs, but some of the other bands, you know, we love everybody, and we just wanted to have a place. And we're going to do this all over the area, not just at Backseat Events, but we want to do shows in big stages with all the trimmings and have local bands play them. Um, you know, we definitely for this show we wanted to have legitimacy. You know, as a metal festival, as a metal show, we wanted to bring in the Ringer. You know, a national signed act. And it's funny because I know my wife is watching right now, by the way. She actually found Byzantine. We were scouring the whole planet. I still have invitations to other bands that haven't even responded. But when she found Byzantine and I looked them up on YouTube, I went to see their videos. And I'm telling you, I was just floored. I was blown away that I don't know this band yet. And so now I've like listened to everything that is out on media everywhere. And I'm just so happy that they were available for us and that they're going to be headlining the show. And I mean, just an incredible band. And I'm glad that they're the headliner because I don't have to worry about screaming and blowing my vocal out because I'll be done. And so I get to be up front with them and just really rock. They're just an incredible band. But I love all the bands on this thing. The opening band, I never want to forget the opening bands. Trap Hill Collision. I've seen them once, and I can't remember the venue out there in Virginia. I seen them somewhere there. A lot of energy, very rowdy people on that on that stage. So I'm looking forward to them. The other band, the third act is another Winchester band, Operation Death. Now I seen them when they were actually Operation Botched, and I want to tell you, these guys blew me away. They sound great. They've got this incredible energy. It's very fast. It's very heavy. The singer, this guy, he needs to be on the big stage for sure. Not to forget the second act. Second act is coming out of Baltimore, a band called Decay. They've got their first album done. It's available on Spotify and probably elsewhere. They've got one or two videos out on YouTube. I love these guys. As I said in my description on the event, these guys epitomize the spirit of Freaks Unleashed. Because think about that, Freaks Unleashed. If you go see some of their videos and listen to some of their music, these guys are definitely they're out there. I think they're going to be my big surprise band. I think they're going to kick ass. After that, we've got a band coming out of Knoxville. Now, I lived 4 years in Knoxville, Tennessee, so I'm happy to have these young guys out of Knoxville coming out. Quiescent Mantis. They're managed by Extreme Management Group, and I want to give a shout out to Joel at Extreme Management Group. He was very instrumental with me in helping me put together a lot of this show, to be honest. Advising me, helping me, giving me all kinds of information, and helped me get Quiescent Mantis on board. They're playing like every festival across this country this summer. I love their energy. They got real serious attitude problems, and it's a wonderful thing. So I look forward to seeing them. And they're also my fellow Knoxville brothers, And then you've got Devil in Disguise. I don't know if you guys have heard of any of these bands, but Devil in Disguise out of Baltimore, they are a polished act. To me, they've got a little bit of something for everybody. They've got the balls and chunk. They've got the heavy. They've got the melodies. They've got the sound. They're an absolute polished band. I'm looking forward to seeing them live. I tried to get out. They just shot a video. Unfortunately, it was on Saturday before Easter. And we were actually shooting our last video on Easter. Please forgive me, Father. So I was trying to, they invited me to come out, but, my wife decided we were going to have Easter dinner on Saturday, so it was a no-go. But I love the guys. I love their music. They're going to bring it. They play with a lot of other bands that I'm acquainted with. So they're gonna deliver the goods. And then you've got Rise Among Rivals, and I can't say enough about Rise. They're not necessarily a metal band to say like metal, gore or death, or I don't know. There's a million genres out there today, but they're just a fantastic hard rock band. Musicianship is through the roof. The talent on with these guys is just, I can't say enough about them. I don't know if I'm having a man crush on them, bromance. I don't know, but I just absolutely love those guys. So, and then you've got our band Last Two, and we were going to be third, and I talked to Rise Amongst Rivals. Again, I'm plugging their shirt right here. I bought it, guys. And, support local music is what I say. But I offered them if they wanted to go, to co-headline before, to be the support to the headliner. And they're so humble, these guys. They're like, dude, we'll open up the show if you want for us. And I'm like, no. But I just felt like it made a little more sense to have a little heavier band before Byzantine. You know what I mean? The flow of the show, I'm actually, to be honest, a little nervous about supporting and opening for Byzantine or any headliner for that matter. But I just felt like the show was going to be a little, there's a method to it, But yeah, it's going to be last two, and then I think what's going to really happen here, guys, if I can be really honest, Byzantine's going to take the stage, and they're just going to kick all our asses, and that is a beautiful thing, because that's why they're the headliner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I was disappointed, Wes, watching that video with you and OJ and from Byzantine. He broke my heart, man. You guys, I don't remember if it was Hops or you that asked him, do you listen to all the bands at these shows? And he said, absolutely. We listen to all the bands except the one that plays right before us. And I was like, oh, for serious? So, because they got to warm up and exercise and get the vocals going and get dressed, and so they don't catch the band right before. I'm like, and it's funny because I even texted OJ and I said, seriously, man. I mean, seriously. But he's a really, really good guy, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play live. I just all the bands, honestly, it's incredible. But keep in mind, I want all the bands to know right now, because I know they're going to watch this because they're supporting the festival. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to do my best to see everybody every minute. But remember, I'm running a festival, and I got a lot of work to do, and it's a lot to do. So bear with me. I definitely want to see all of you.
So, Chris, we're a little bit tight on time. My fault.
Yes,
Nobody
sir.
else's. I'll take responsibility for that.
Sure.
I want to touch on two things real quick.
Sure.
One is your price point. It's absolutely killer, because I'm counting 7, 8, 9 different bands for $25 in advance, $30 at the door.
Wes, I can tell you, I go to a lot of shows. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I go to a lot of shows. And, you go out and you pay $90 here or $60 there or $50 there. And, and you see a bunch of bands. And I got to tell you, a lot of times I'm very disappointed in the talent, in the bands that were selected for these shows. Some shows are really great. When I went to see Rise Among Rivals, it was Rise Among Rivals, a band called Dead Eyes, absolute badasses out of Baltimore. And they were supporting a band called Kingdom Collapse. And my older brother, Jeff, who's part of Dark Cloud, he fixes all the stuff I blow up. And hey, Jeff, I asked him if he wanted to go see the show, about a month ago or so. He's like, I'm kind of tired. He didn't really want to go, but he came. We went along. He came with me. We went to the show, and he was just blown away. When we left there, we were driving home. He's like, we came out to see one band, and we saw 3 bands. And how many shows do you go to that all 3 bands were just killer kick-ass bands? So as far as our show is, I feel like we got a lot of talent, really great bands. I want to hire bands that are all like headliners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't want to have filler bands. We want great talent at the shows, and we want to be known when somebody sees, oh, Dark Cloud Productions is putting on a festival or a show. They need to know that it's going to be a kick-ass show. So yes, I agree, Wes. $25. I know, the ticket companies, they're going to charge a few dollars for their fees, but I think the price point is phenomenal for the talent that's going to be there, for the bands that are there. And let me also say this: we pay everybody. There's a lot of shows that go down, and these other bands, the earlier bands, they don't get a dime. I have given all bands have been paid more, are being paid more than they ever dreamed, more than they would ever dare to ask. And I can tell you, a couple of them offered to play for free, and we said no. We have a simple rule at Dark Cloud Productions, and it's my rule. It's in my life. Everybody at the table eats, period. So, regardless whether I recoup my money or not, everybody at the table eats. So we want great bands, and we want them to know, and the word to be out that, hey, if Dark Cloud is asking you to play, you're going to do good with them. You know what I mean? So yes, a great price point. I would spend $25 in a heartbeat to come see this show. I can tell you hands down. And I would just sit there and drink beer all day and hang out with people and scream and make a lot of noise and just really enjoy the day, because it's going to be a beautiful day. $25. I mean, what do you get for $25 these days?
Yeah,
Not much.
Well, I'll tell you,
extra fees.
Not too much, but you'll get 8 bands and a national headliner for $25. It's an incredible thing.
Well, I will say this too, that when you're paying $25, you got more money in your pocket to help support those bands and buy their merch and
Correct.
t-shirts and
Correct.
also a couple beers along the way.
You know what, String? I'm glad you said that because, you know, a few of the bands actually asked me if there was any split, you know, for the merchandise, if they were allowed to sell their merch and if there was any split with the house or with the venue or, you know, with Dark Cloud. And I said, absolutely not. We will not, we will never do that. It's their merch, it's their money, and they need to get it. That's how they make their money for fuel. I mean, some of these guys are coming out of Baltimore. It's a big effort. So we don't want anybody's money. It's their t-shirts, it's their merch. Let them sell it. Let them get their money. It's how you support local music. Absolutely.
Yep.
So, Chris,
And by the way, we want the club to make money. You know, if you got more cash in your pocket, you know, think about it. If you're charging $45 and this show's $25, $20, let me tell you, that's what, 3-4 beers?
Yeah.
At the bar, it goes to the bar. Everybody's gotta eat. You know, you know, this is a big venue. It's a nice venue. It's very upscale, very clean. It costs somebody a lot of money to keep these doors open. So they need to make money. Everybody's gotta eat. Everybody.
Yeah. Chris, in 2 minutes or less, because I'm past time, I'm already 10 minutes late for my thing. In 2 minutes or less, share what I can expect, not just from the extras of being able to be there, to the meet and greets. What are the options that I'm going to see by being part of this event with you?
So, you know, you and I have talked about that, Wes, you know, having meet and greets, and I've talked to some of the bands about it if they want to charge any money. And, you know, they've all been pretty adamant. They don't want to charge any money for meet and greets. They love playing. They love coming off the stage and hanging out with the fans. They'll take pictures with everyone. They'll hang out with everyone. They'll rock with everyone when the other bands are playing. And you asked OJ from Byzantine the same question. He said, you know, we just don't do that because we're always hanging out by the merch table and we're happy to see the fans. And I don't disagree with that. I kind of support that. It's a very cozy thing. I think what everybody can expect, it's going to be a rowdy show. We've got some really killer bands that are going to come and bring the heat. $25 is going to get you a whole hell of a lot of entertainment for the day. And I think everybody will really enjoy the show and enjoy the bands after the show. And last two will be out there as well. And we want to meet everybody. We'll take pictures with anybody. And, I will party with everybody. I will drink beer with everybody, and we will hang out and make noise and bring down the house. And especially since, you know, Byzantine comes after us and I don't have to worry about vocals again. As I said earlier, I intend to be right up front and just kicking ass and watching these guys, you know, just pretty much destroy us. But a lot of great talent. I'm just really proud of the show. I'm proud of all the bands that are on this show. I hope people will come out and support it. You know, if you don't, you know, there's that old saying that I've heard, you know, all these big headlining acts, you know, the big boys, you know, even Metallica, they were all a local band at some point. So if you don't get out and support local bands, then, I mean, what are we doing? You know, you can go see Godsmack. I love Godsmack. You can go see Disturbed. I love Disturbed. You can go see Metallica. Great. But, you know, there's so many bands in your backyard that, number one, will cost you a fraction of the cost to see them. And, you know, you got to support music. If you're into the music, you got to come out and support these guys. So I just want to throw this out there. Dark Cloud, we don't do this for the money. We lose money. Believe me, we do it for the pure passion of it. We do it for the show. We do it just it's such a great camaraderie with all the bands, and it's just a great vibe. It's a great scene. You know, so we want everybody to come out and support it. We're going to do this a lot going forward now that I've taken my licks and learned my lessons. We're ready to start really booking a lot of shows for Dark Cloud, and we're going to do this a lot, and you're going to see a lot of these bands come back. We're going to keep adding bands, and you know, the goal is to maybe do a big outdoor thing regionally at some point. So we really would love for everybody to come out and really kick ass and support these bands. They're working hard. They're all practicing hard. They're bringing everything they got for this show. It's a big stage, big sound, big lights, and a lot of big music. So really hope everybody comes out and enjoys the show.
Chris, thank you. I've got to run, which
Yes,
means
sir.
the feed will have to end because
Right.
I've got the controls. But here's the reality in the comments, and Hop, maybe you, String, or even you, Chris, if you guys can put the I've got the Eventbrite and your Facebook link shared in the comments, but sometimes it doesn't stay there once we end the feed. So go over to the YouTube on the live section, make sure it's there, share it. If you're watching this, we appreciate it. The last thing I'll share, guys, is my goodness, Chris or String and Hop put together some great questions. Chris, you answered them all when the first question was asked. That was thorough.
Wow.
That was fantastic.
Well, we didn't script any of this, and so I didn't know what you guys were going to want to talk about. I'm just kind of like, hey, everybody who knows me knows I love to talk, so you got the right guy here.
Yeah, you did. It's fantastic. The last thing I'll share as we bring it to a close is we get to chat with Billy from Devil in Disguise, another one of your bands coming up. I believe that's June 1st. I don't have it in front of me. But
yeah, it is June 1st, I believe, at 3:00 or something like that. I'm going to post it on our pages, and I think you'll have a great time with them. Great band. I'll be Billy. I'll be watching the interview, buddy.
Perfect.
Cool.
Chris, thanks for being with us. We're cheering you on. We're doing what we can to share the event and promote it. We're excited for what you're going to do for the venue. You're going to love the venue.
Thank you, guys. And any one of you, if you want to come out to the show, you just let me know.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for doing this interview. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Chris, hang tight with us just 1 second as
Yes,
I
sir.
close the recording.
You bet.
See you guys. Take care.
Hop, metal.